Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1118. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont Coffee. Today, it is the return of the wonderful segment called JARELNIME. This time we'll have a new one, not repeat an old one. Plus, we hear from Shoehart,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, so stick around, my friend.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Well, yesterday somebody did something that was very new. They emailed me and they said they wanted to do an interview with me, so I checked out their podcast, but here's the thing. They only had one podcast done. So it made me think, maybe they're saying they want to do an interview so that I check out
Mike's Daily Podcast,
their podcast, and I noticed that by checking out their podcast, I had given them their 67th
Mike's
play. So
Daily
they played me.
Podcast.
I won't do that again. Yeah. If you want me for your show, if you want to interview me, you give me a proper email. You email me at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com and you ask me that way, like I'm a goddamn star. And then we'll possibly do a podcast together or interview or whatever. That's how it works. Or if your name is Diane Sawyer. If your name is Diane Sawyer, we'll talk. We'll talk anywhere you want. Meet me at a restaurant. Meet me on the top of the world. Meet me and we'll float to a level above. I wish you'd stop what you're doing and get on the case so we can blow this existence right out into space and meet a sweet isolation. Let's go there today, go today, right away, every way. So let's go, baby, Wang Chung. 'Cause baby, I want your love. Yesterday, I was going to take my dog to Fairmont Ridge, where I have often gone. I've done some interviews at Fairmont Ridge with guests. I have walked Basil all over the place. I'll say hi to Basil. And, oh look, let's say hi to someone else. Just walking. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Shelly. Shoehart to get shop supervisor. Oh my god, what song were you singing? Iggy Azalea? No, that wasn't Iggy Azalea. It was, Effie, what's that person's name? Fetty Wamp? No, it wasn't Fetty Wamp. Fetty Wamp? Is it, Wiz Khalifa? No, it was Wang Chung. Oh, who's that? They were from the 80s. Oh my god, that's like so strange. I graduated. Congratulations. Yeah, all the graduations going on last week. It was fun to see people put up big posters. Now, here's the thing. People put up big banners now on their front lawns and all over their houses saying, graduate. Congrats, graduate. And these big things. And I felt that someone else walked in. Oh, Mike, it's Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. What's wrong with having a big poster on your front lawn? No, that's great. I think it's awesome. I think it's sort of like Christmas decorations or Halloween decorations. You know, it's a sign of the season that we're in, and it's all about graduations. Mike, why do I sense a hint of cynicism in your voice? Cynicism! No, I think it's wonderful. Mike, you're leading us on! No, it's true. It's a wonderful thing. Meanwhile, Costco effed up. Frickin'. So, if you had a Costco American Express card, which was wonderful because you would get reward points, and then that would go directly into taking money off your bill when you went to Costco. Well, yesterday was the big day they made the switch to Citi Visa from Citibank. And it went something like this. Sunday, you had an American Express card. Monday, it didn't exist. Oh, that square piece of plastic, rectangular piece of plastic was still in your wallet. but it didn't work. And if you went online to try find out any information about your former American Express card, it was gone, deleted completely from the internet. All you got carried over to Citibank was, thankfully, your reward points, thankfully your bill, how much you owed them, thanks a lot, and the statement for this past bill period from May till now. That's it. None of the past statements or anything. It's just gone. American Express doesn't have it. Citi doesn't have it. It's just gone. You've been deleted, my friend. Delete. Gone. It's weird. It gave me a weird feeling all day long. I felt this total, we have no control over life, right? The universe. Anything can happen. Did I just now freak you out? No, it's true. You have really no control over anything. I mean, you can put on clothes and you can walk outside of the house and you can say hi to people and you can get in your car and go places and whatnot. But at any moment, anything can freaking happen. You could just die like that. Anyway, and we forget about that until something like this happens where your complete life has been deleted from the internet. I don't know. It left me with an uneasy feeling. I don't like it. That's all I had to say about that. So, I had to do a lot of live chatting with Amex people, try to get a hold of Citibank. Could not get a hold of them yesterday. It was just so freaking crazy. Everybody else is wondering what's going on. Even though they warned us months ago, the actual what's the word I'm trying to say? I want to come up with the execution, as it were, was horrible, and it felt like we got executed. On a brighter note, I saw a crime go down yesterday. I was driving my dog to Fairmont Ridge. Oh yeah, we were over in this area already, weren't we? I was discussing Fairmont Ridge. I was setting that up. I was driving Basil the Boxer there. We were going to walk at Fairmont Ridge, and I'm pulling up to the parking lot, and I just noticed, there's a police SUV. By the way, the SUVs and police, it's not just for soccer moms anymore. It's for the police. It's for guns. It's for throwing criminals in the back seat with the, handcuffs and whatnot. It's all about the SUVs now. Forget about the days of... What were police cars once upon a time? They were all like those big... They were all Chips. Chips, the TV show. Eric Estrada. No? Anyway, police cars used to all look the same, and now they're SUVs. So, there's an SUV in the parking lot. That's a police car. It's got the lights going. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe they're arresting someone because they had their dog off leash. Because even though you can have your dog off leash at this park, if your dog is off leash within the first something like 100 yards or 100 feet, I forget what it is, they'll give you a ticket. As I've explained on this show many times before, I got a ticket for having Basil off leash in an area that said I could have a dog off leash, but it was one little technical thing. I was my foot was on this one path that was paved, and when that happens, you get a ticket. It was ridiculous, and I had to pay the East Bay Regional Park District or the police department $300. It was ridiculous, and I appealed the case in court, which ironically the court was not too far away from where I work now. So I get to see that wonderful courthouse every day, and it brings back this wonderful memory. So I'm thinking, okay, someone's getting arrested. No. All of a sudden, a police car that's one of those Mustangs or whatever they got, one of the more sleeker police cars, pulls up with lights going. It zooms right beside me and then parks in front of me, and I'm like, uh-oh, something's going down. And I look, and there's some kind of, I don't know what it was, I guess everything's an SUV in my world today. It was like an older SUV, and there's a guy in the passenger seat, and he's got his hand sticking out of the car, and for a split second, I thought, oh my God, he's got a gun. And I was thinking, oh my God, he's pointing it at me. He's going to try and take out somebody because he's getting arrested. And then I saw, oh no, there's nothing in his hand. And the police are telling him, keep your hands up. And then at that second, when I realized, oh, thank God he didn't have a gun, I said, time to get the H-E double hockey sticks hex out of here. That was a reference to a Daily Haley a couple weeks back. If you didn't, go back and listen to that one. Hex. And I get out of there. I'm out. I zoom up the hill. I get away. Basically, there should be a voice in your head when you see something like this going down that screams at you, that goes, go, 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 as loud as possible. Because you do not want to be around in these situations. And in fact, as I was leaving, another police car was showing up. So as I was leaving, I saw the guy get out of the passenger side of the car, of the SUV, and he was walking backwards with his hands up in the air, and the policeman was shouting, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. And the police all had their guns drawn. Oh my gosh. So I got out of there. We drove about an extra 6 miles and found another place to walk. There you go. End of that story. Wow. And that just happened yesterday. Quick political look at things. Hillary apparently is doing well in some new poll that just came out from some university. And then speaking of universities, Trump University is getting all kinds of bad press and court cases against it. And then Hillary, possibly Elizabeth Warren, might be her vice president. If Elizabeth Warren is picked, that might placate Bernie Sanders supporters. We'll see if that's possible. Let's take a look at the podcast picture.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Speaking of the wonderful Basil, there he is on the beach of Half Moon Bay playing with another brindle boxer. And there's two boxers there. But Basil's the one on the left, and there's a guy's surfboard there. And it was a fun day. Gosh, that was over a year ago, I think. Coffee and so much fun. Mike, you sure like to show pictures of Basil. I haven't shown a picture lately. Oh, I stand corrected. Bernie, you were a Bernie supporter. How do you feel about Elizabeth Warren? She's cool. It'll be two women on the ticket. Ha, that'd be fun. All right. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com, where to go to find out all the past podcast pictures, listen to past shows, hear past interviews, hear me go pass out as I think about how there's no control over the universe whatsoever. That's all there at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com, as well as where if you want to support the show, there's the Amazon link. You can click on that and buy something, whatever you were going to buy on Amazon. Go through that link there at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com first. By the way, there's going to be drones soon. Obama helped sign some legislation to make to speed the drone situation so that we'll have little drones flying around everywhere. So that'll help Amazon out, because I know Jeff Bezos wanted to get that off the ground, so to speak. And then that's all there at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com if you want to help out the show that way. And there's a PayPal if you want to donate and get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. JARELNIME.
JARELNIME.
It's JARELNIME time. Hello, Jarell.
Sup?
Jarell, did you hear that apparently in Japan there's a commercial running that has an anime character that looks like Trump?
That's got to be a troll.
A troll? What, like one of those things that lives in the forest and comes at you with a big wooden club and tries to steal your booty?
That's part of it, to which I counteract with a shot from my pellet gun to his forehead and another to his ass.
Well, what video game are we playing now? No.
Unfortunately, this one, there's no reset button on this particular game.
Oh, no. That's life. No reset button.
That's right. And you are very limited on continue, so you might want to get it right the first time, because it's open book. You got all kinds of resources to know how to get through life called Google. So Google it.
Well, we got really metaphysical there, Jarrell. Jarrell, we were going to talk about Sailor Moon. What do you know? When did you first start watching Sailor Moon anime?
That had to be back in my single-digit years. My sister happened to be watching it, and when I saw it, I got it immediately crushed. I can't even talk right.
Because they have an effect on you, the hot Sailor Moon women.
Of course they do. I mean, who doesn't want to see a girl in a short skirt?
That's true. You know, we live in a time where women wear short skirts. Back like a couple hundred years ago, they had to wear it down to their toes practically.
Of course. But at the same time, this does not mean we can just jump on them. Come on, have some self-control out there, folks. Be reasonable. Just because they're wearing something in particular does not give you the right to just jump on them, because you would not want that to happen to you. So control yourselves.
Don't jump on women is what we're learning to. What is Sailor Moon about?
Sailor Moon is about this young teenage girl who comes to find out that she's actually a princess and is able to transform into this kind of superhero in a way with somewhat superpowers. But in the transformation, she changes from, no matter what she's wearing, into this kind of sailor outfit, which is, if you ever seen the sailor suits of school uniforms in Japan, you'll know what I'm talking about. Only the skirt is a lot shorter, pretty much covers about half of the thighs. So, and of course, they censor out anything that's supposed to be inappropriate, unless you get the uncensored version, if that even exists.
Wait, so why is it called Sailor Moon now?
Because all of the characters in there, whoever is a superhero, is related to a planet in the solar system.
Oh, okay.
So obviously you have Usagi, who is the main protagonist as Sailor Moon. Then you have another character, Rei Aino, who is related to Mars, so she's Sailor Mars. You have Sailor Mercury, whom I forget the Japanese name, but they go by the English name Amy. With Sailor Mercury, which is the stunning thing about that is Sailor Mercury in the anime is able to use elements related to either cold or just bubbles. And if you ever look at the planet Mercury, you'll notice that it's closer to the sun, so you would figure it would be hotter. Meanwhile, Sailor Mars is able to use fire, which Mars is quite a ways away from the sun. So there's a little twist of just swap. I guess they figured that since Sailor Mercury is a little bit more bubbly than Sailor Mars, which Sailor Mars is kind of a hothead, it would kind of make sense then.
How long did they still make it? It's still around?
They actually redid it last year. As a matter of fact, the developers actually did a panel at Anime Expo. I think it was either last year or the year prior to that, and they actually released the first episode of Sailor Moon Crystal. Which was pretty much a remake, and the graphics do look a little bit more modern. And from what I hear, it also follows more along the lines of the manga.
Of the what?
The manga, which is basically, it's a novel with pictures. It's black and white.
Oh, is that the one that you have to read it in reverse?
Yes, because that's pretty much how that particular culture writes their books.
Oh, okay. Did you ever find a character that's bald like me?
I did. If you look up One Punch Man, you should be able to pull that off.
Oh, okay. So I could dress like that for the Anime Expo.
If you want to go all the way to LA, sure.
What? Are there any black anime characters?
There are. Some of them are kind of a stereotypical. Meanwhile, there are some that actually have some real decency to their demeanor. One of them in particular is Dutch from the anime Black Lagoon.
What's Dutch do?
Dutch is the leader of this company called the Lagoon Company, and they're pretty much kind of mercenaries. They do a various things, but from what I saw in the anime, there was one particular set of jobs that they do to where they actually deliver packages, or they provide escort services with close proximity protection, because they're in the middle of a war zone of all different types of gangs and mafias.
Wait, when does it take place? Is it like a futuristic story?
I would say it's more along the lines of the modern times.
Oh.
Only this is a portion of the earth to where there's a lot of, I guess you could classify them as criminals, but in fact what they're doing is they're just choosing certain routes to put food on the table. And it just happens to be more from a violent perspective.
And It's called what?
The Black Lagoon. There are actually 3 seasons.
Whoa. So is it violent?
Very, very violent. So if you're into guns, severe profanity, and just plain dark, gangs and mafias, this would be the anime for you.
Oh, I've got to watch your Cowboy Bebop. I haven't watched it yet. Do you need it back now?
No, I've watched that like 7 times.
Okay, well, I need to watch it. So that's why when I went to Comcast to complain that they raised my internet, and they're like, well, we could get you a package for $20 more, and you get TV. I'm like, I never watch TV. Jarrell gave me Cowboy Bebop on DVD, and I haven't had not time to watch that either. Not.
Wow, you really duked it out with them.
Yeah.
But in many cases, they don't really budge until you're getting ready to leave them.